So someone impersonated my therapist and then came after me. So I have another crazy Reddit story for you guys today, and I feel like this crazy contour look actually fits the story so well. So when I was 9 years old, my mother left me to pursue her dreams and discover who she was. And this was all because her therapist, Dr. Kathleen Porter, said that she couldn't be a good wife or mom unless she learned to put herself first. So after she left my dad, brother, and I, my dad stuck me with my first therapist. I would draw her pictures, and she would always tell my dad what they meant. A dark sky meant I was sad, and a house with one window meant that I felt trapped. I only saw my mom a couple more times in my life, once when she was passing through Colorado to go to a motivational speaking conference. We met at a diner, she talked about herself. And another time after I graduated when I decided to visit her at her home in Tuscan. I had been struggling to hold on to relationships, and I wanted an apology from the woman who abandoned me. And I thought if I got one, I'd be able to move on with my life, but my therapist warned me against this. So I went to confront her. But she just told me that she saved herself by leaving our family and was forever grateful to Dr. Porter. So since I didn't get an apology from her, I figured I would get an apology from a woman that I despise almost as much as my mother, Dr. Porter. She was still practicing. I had been keeping tabs on her for years, so I scheduled a session with her. I told her about my own mom abandoning me because she listened to a therapist and how much I struggled in my own life after that. She continued to remain expressionless, and I got the feeling that she might be a sociopath. I noticed a "You Are Enough" tattoo on her wrist. After a few more sessions of talking about this, I was hoping that Dr. Porter would catch on. So I decided that I was going to confront her. But when I sat down in her office next, there were some things that were a little bit different. Her skin was tighter, her voice was lower, and the whole office was a lot darker. She was even compassionate and reassuring whenever I brought up my mom, stating that a therapist should never tell a patient what to do. I wanted to scream, "Well, this was all because of you," but I could tell that something was different. And when she went in for a hug at the end, I noticed that her tattoo was gone. That's when I knew that this was an imposter and not Dr. Porter. So after I got home, I started to do some Googling. Did my therapist have a secret twin? Was someone impersonating her and even going the extra lengths to get surgery? I mean, I live in LA, so it happens. I was wondering who this new Dr. Porter 2.0 was, so I kind of ended up sneaking back into her office. I was curious, and I ended up finding a key from the cleaning crew. So this allowed me to get back into her office, go through her drawers, and in her top desk drawer, she had an empty bottle of black hair dye. Not proof, but still validating. Later, I found a couple dozen note cards of all the patients and their details, including my own. Adjustment disorder, stalking history, high functioning. The stalking charge happened after I was trying to get my AirPods back from an ex. He made the whole thing into a big deal, and I was almost put on a 5150 hold because of it. I was worried that if I called the cops about Dr. Porter and knowing about my stalking charge, it may look like I was stalking my therapist and this time actually get put on hold. Dr. Porter didn't have a family, so no one close to her even knew she was gone. And I noticed that other patients seemed to prefer this Dr. Porter 2.0. Close to the end of our next session, she had to go use the restroom. So I used this as additional time to look for any clues. I walked over to her briefcase and saw a before and after Polaroid of a woman who looked a lot like Dr. Porter alongside a woman who looked exactly like Dr. Porter. I slipped it into my pocket right as she was opening back up the door. I pretended like I was looking for my earring back. But when she walked in, she picked up a letter opener from the top of her desk, which was a stainless steel razor-sharp blade. And it looked better suited to kill a small animal than open up a gas bill. She picked up a letter and stood there cutting it while smiling at me. So I decided to call the police from my burner phone after this. The dispatcher just wanted to know how I got a hold of the photo and wanted to know if I was mentally stable. She let me know that a photo wouldn't prove anything other than I was trespassing in my therapist's office. I hung up, went home, and tried to calm myself by listening to a meditation app. I fell asleep eventually, but my phone woke me up at 2:13 a.m. It was a text from an unknown number saying, "You're a thief." It made me freak out and confirmed that she was not the real Dr. Porter. This morning I had to go to work, and I literally started to think that I was seeing her everywhere. I was bumper to bumper in LA traffic. I thought she was behind the wheel of the car sitting next to me, smiling at me. I ordered from DoorDash later that day. I thought it was her bringing me my food. When I had to go to my dentist appointment, I thought that she had come in after my dentist had left, smiling with a metal tray filled with dental instruments. And when I went on Instagram to see if the imposter had posted any recent pictures of herself, I noticed that my account had a new story that I hadn't uploaded myself. It was a photo of me with the word thief in red letters. I deleted it quickly, but how in the world did she have access to my Instagram account? I felt like I was entering into another reality. I was talking to myself like a crazy person, the stress was killing me, my hair was falling out. I started not leaving my apartment at all. I kept imagining her slicing my throat with that letter opener. I was wondering if I was really seeing her or if I was just being driven to madness. Eventually, I felt like I had no choice but to make an appointment with her again. The second I got in there, she shut the door behind me and let me know that she had been waiting for me. I wondered if I had made a mistake, but I ended up just explaining the whole situation to her, that I wasn't actually a real patient of Dr. Porter's, that I had just been going to see her to confront her eventually, because she was responsible for my mom abandoning me. And that's when Dr. Porter 2.0 let me know that she knew and that the same thing actually happened to her. She went looking for an apology from Dr. Porter and never got one herself. And that's when she decided to get rid of Dr. Porter to stop her from hurting more families. She got minor cosmetic surgery to make herself look more like Dr. Porter. She pretended to show up for her usual appointment and then killed Dr. Porter with her letter opener. She had a friend at the crematorium who helped her with the body. And she'd hired a hacking company to seamlessly transition onto Dr. Porter's digital life, but apparently also hack into my Instagram. She explained that at first she just wanted to scare me into not going to the police. After reading all of Dr. Porter's notes about me, she just wanted to talk because of our similar situations. I asked her why killing Dr. Porter wasn't enough. She stated that she had to become her to fix all the patients that she had hurt. Dr. Porter 2.0 was the best therapist I ever had, and all the shrinks before her were just wrong. Revenge isn't just sweet, it's healing. Dr. Porter 2.0 and I celebrated 7 years of marriage last year. We gave each guest at our wedding a party favor, a letter opener with our initials on it. As for my mom, I'm still waiting for her to return to LA one day and pay a visit to her old psychologist, Dr. Porter. I tagged the author to the story below. The story on Reddit has so much more detail to it, so I did my best to summarize it within 3 TikToks. Let me know what you guys think of the story and what Reddit story you want to hear next.